Sfrc Online.
Hello, this video is to teach you how to measure diameter at breast height for a tree, also commonly referred to as DBH. In my hands is known as a logger's tape. The logger's tape comes with a nail at the end in order to make it easier so you can insert it in the fissures of the bark. The logger's tape is automatically retractable, and the tape is made of steel, so it's heavier and less likely to tangle. Each side measures something different. One side measures distance, the other side measures diameter. You also want to make sure to pay attention to units. We also have what's known as cloth tape, just because it's made of cloth. It's lighter to carry, so that's usually a plus. However, because it's so light, it typically tangles, and you want to pay attention if you're measuring the DBH of a large tree. You also have to manually scroll this, whereas the other DBH tape is an automatic. Here we have just a smaller version. Once again, you want to pay attention to what units you're using. Your measurement won't really be efficient if you don't pay attention to what units you're measuring it in. Again, one side is for DBH, the other side is for distance. Now I'm going to show you how to actually measure the DBH of a tree using the logger's tape. Now the DBH is always measured at 4.5 feet to be consistent. This stick is previously marked at 4.5 feet, and as you can see on me, that's about at my collarbone. You always want to have a reference so that way you don't measure the tree every single time you go out to take a diameter at breast height. Now to illustrate, I'm going to stand close to the tree to figure out where 4.5 feet, my collarbone, matches up with the tree. I'm then going to try and insert the nail. You want to make sure to get it in a fissure between the barks, that way it's easier to insert. And when you read the measurement, you want to make sure you're reading at where it overlaps from 0. So here you can see it's 19.7. Now, a few common errors are to take the diameter at either a height too high or too low. To illustrate how this would change your measurement, I will show that. So you can see here where it overlaps at 0, it's just 19.2 feet. If you do it too low, it's most likely going to be larger considering it's the base of the tree. As you can see here, it's 21.3. There are a few other common errors that you should be aware of, and I'm going to illustrate those right over here. When approaching a tree that's on a slope, there are a few common errors that are made. One of which is to measure the DBH on the parallel side. Another is to measure on the underside of the tree. However, to get an accurate measurement, you always want to make sure to measure DBH on the uphill side of the tree. To do this, once again, you want to make sure it's at 4.5 feet. Remember the reference on your body, collarbone for me, and you want to make sure to read the reading where it overlaps at 0. A common error on larger trees is when you're trying to wrap around the tape for the DBH, especially with the cloth tape, that it'll twist while you're taking your measurements, especially on the other side of the tree that you can't see. In this particular case, as you can see, the tree forks well below the 4.5 mark. In this particular situation, you want to take two separate DBH measurements, although it's one tree. In contrast to the previous tree, you can see here that it forks above 4.5 feet. So in this case, you would do what you would normally do when you're taking the diameter. And you would once again take it at 4.5 feet. Another tool commonly used to measure DBH is known as a caliper. They have these in digital form as well. Once again, you want to make sure that you do this at 4.5 feet. And receive your measurement. Here it's 16. Now, if the tree isn't circular and it's more of an oblong shape, you want to take it at both major and minor axes. If it's, you want a bigger measurement as well as a smaller side, and average the two. This concludes all the tools used for DBH measurements. Thank you.